Okay, taken. A lot of action shots for nothing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with the final episode of Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket. We come back with notes, we come back with a board, and as always, let's start with the board. And with the board comes a board changelog, where I have marked Steiner as dead, as he just died last episode. And I added Killing's commander, and then marked him as dead. Really the only things that changed. Board-wise. I guess I've also had the thought in my head that maybe I need to use a different color than white. It's just that white is such a standout color. Well, the element that if you come up beneath the characters, it goes over their names. Not a problem for me. I know the characters because I do the board, so I'm the one who most recently saw their name unobscured.
Yeah.
But maybe I should use a gray. I don't know. The background's gray. That's just a thought that I've been having.
It does happen from time to time. We go like, what's the name of that guy? Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've had much more involved boards than this one, where I use every spot coming out of the character. So sometimes it's not like, oh, well, maybe if I just do the white from the side and the top, that'd be fine. It's like, well, no, there's going to be times where that's not an option. Sometimes a main character is so main character that they are not related to, but you have relations to everybody.
Especially if it goes through an I, and in Romanized anyway, I or an L. You're like, is that just a line? Is that an I? Is that an L? Is it,
Like I said, not so much a problem for me, but also if you're having a problem with it, then anybody who's looking at this in the future might not be able to figure it out. Hell, I remember the time in the OG Gundam show, I was like, oh man, maybe I need to add a second char to the board. Just have different connections all coming off of him. Because he was so connected to everybody that I was making up excuses to have one line break off into 4 different lines.
Well, we also have notes. And I believe the rule is, since I have more notes, I start.
Yeah, gotta get you to burn through more notes so that we can finish around the same time.
Mind you, that doesn't mean that my notes are more incisive or even accurate. It's just more. Quantity is a quality of its own, I guess. First note on the episode 5, on the episode 5.
I believe that's a quote from Zap Brannigan.
Yeah. Say it isn't so, Bernie. I do like the Gundam's arm cannon. I always like guns on arms of mechs. I thought it was neat.
Yeah, I mean, I had robot toys as a kid that had arm cannon gun things, so
yeah,
I think it's just a common thing.
In this case, it was pop-up. Although, technically speaking, it's a big gun. I guess the arms are kind of Popeye arms, so they're, they should have space, but still, it's a big gun that comes out of place. The gun, the ammo, and the mechanisms for the arm all have to fit in the same place. So, but then again, it's
very Mech Warrior.
It's a thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, don't disagree. So Killing lived up to his name, I guess. I will say, as far as we know, Side 6 was not a signing member of the Antarctic Treaty, but I don't think that's the sort of legal loophole that gets you off of the gallows later. Either way, kills the base commander when he tries to stop the unauthorized use of nuclear weapons, saying that he doesn't report to him and never asked for his permission. I guess the telling thing is that while he's the one that shot the commander, he had men with him that killed the other base personnel, implying loyalty to whatever cause they believe themselves to be on. We are 11 days away from the war ending at this point. Zeon can see the writing on the wall, and it seems everyone is either consigning themselves to defeatism or extremism. Not for nothing, I might have been on Killing's side if he were doing something that mattered to the war effort. Like stealing nukes to use against the fleet that's on its way to Solomon, or Abo Aquo, later anyway. This is the just pointless scorched earth. Sorry, I can't talk at the moment. This is just pointless scorched earth nonsense that serves no purpose. Destroying one Gundam prototype is no longer a war-winning objective.
My retort to that is my second note. Commander Forehead is a real bastard, even by Sion standards.
I mean, apparently not. That's the middle part of my note about the fact that he has men that are willing to commit murder in order to achieve the objective against a military commander.
True.
And I have a note, my next note literally still follows on this, how insane it is what he was doing because of where he's doing it at.
True, but we do know that past actions done by Sion forces, including gassing, nuking other colonies, and using a colony as a literally colony drop on Earth to take out one military target. Because if they even use try to nuke the central base, yeah, it's a jungle. I wouldn't want the Amazon to go on fire, but that's a thing.
To be fair, it's post colony drop, and we don't know how much damage it's done to the world. Nuking the Amazon could really deplete the oxygen reserves of any new oxygen creation. That was a big plot line in Sequest DSV.
Yeah. A couple of nukes would have buried the base anyway and not necessarily caused that much damage.
I wasn't like I said, my point was that what was the best use of a nuke?
Jaburo, yeah.
No, I didn't say Jaburo. I said the fleet going towards Solomon. He could have nuked the mirror, solar system. They could have nuked the solar system and really reduced its effectiveness. Don't know if that would have done anything. I mean, you could have nuked some of the fleet that was heading there. I don't know. You could have nuked White Base. But the idea is that it has
to be a hit, the direct hit, otherwise
I don't think so. But at the same point, I'm not going to get into that debate. We already did some past episode. The point being is that he's using it to nuke a Banshee of Side 6, which is, at best, neutral, to get the Gundam prototype. Again, he doesn't know it's 11 days, but defeatism is rampant. And my point is not the extremism that he's going to, even though that was part of my note. It's the point that the men under him are going along with, to the point of killing other Zeon soldiers.
Yeah. Well, because anyway, it doesn't even fall under Giran's space noids versus Earth noid situations. He's technically killing other space noids, right?
Well, like I said, if this was like a what's that sub movie? Turn the key. Grab some order.
Red Tide, I think it was.
I feel like you're combining two.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah, you're talking about we're talking about the right movie. If it was like that, right? If it was like we need to commandeer this sub, or we've been given orders to launch the nuke, and it was like a base commander who was like against it. We can't do it. It's against the Antarctic Treaty, and it was like this guy's like, this is an important thing to the war, and you're coming from a let's not use nukes. Like you're a good Zeon guy, and I'm a bad Zeon guy. But no, it's literally, let's steal nukes to do this thing that's going to have no effect to anybody except for the people that we kill. Well, anyway, you read your second note in response to mine, so I'll move on to my third one, which is still in the same vein. We're not really leaving the conversation. The real tell that killing is insane is that we find out that was the base commander of Granada. We've discussed numerous times before, Caecilia was at Granada right up until she leaves for Abo Aquo, which would be at least 8 days from now. So he's legit gone to Granada, killed a bunch of Zeon soldiers, stolen a nuke, and claimed to now be in command of Granada, all while Caecilia and her fleet are still there. I suppose if you wanted to, you could claim that Caecilia knew all this was going on, and was giving her tacit approval by remaining silent about it. You know, given that she has the whole intelligence network thing, and we like to think she's good at this.
And I guess also the fact that a loose nuke, even if it's technically within your forces command, is something you don't want to risk. You don't know when that, who could they fire it at? Like,
I mean, if it was Giran, like if this was like at a base Giran commanded, I could see Giran going along with it. Because technically it's a Broken Arrow, and a literal rogue commander. He just killed your base commander and ran off with it. So you can say, not us, when it goes off on Side 6. And you're like, I don't actually care about Side 6, really. So, for him, it's just a little bit more gravy on this.
We were planning to nuke him anyway, after we were done with this.
Yeah. Oh, no, apparently not. If G-Quux is any indication. It's just the idea that... again, if you think she's any good at intelligence, you'd think that she would know what the hell Killing is up to, especially because he's literally just downstairs killing your base commander. I'm in your base killing your dudes.
And taking some of your best ships, too.
Well, we know that Char goes and meets with her at Granada in her fleet, so we know that she's in with her fleet there. It's just she doesn't go to Abaco for at least 8 days. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure when she goes, but I know the episode that she leaves. So the problem is that the episode she leaves is a part of a series of Mobile Suit Gundam episodes that takes place over a range of days. So it's hard to know. So at minimum, she leaves 8 days from now. So she's there.
On to my next comment. Props to the detective for stating the obvious. Do what
that will should be the whole of the law.
Yeah, that no one should have died just because it couldn't be helped. In other words, basically saying, which is, it's like life is valuable. The numbers are not really important. These people died because you were here, right? Ultimately,
I'm going to respond with my note because my literal next note is also the detective stuff. The detective comes off as kind of a dick, but I feel like his anger is completely justified. Chris won't answer his questions because a lot of it is internal Federation matters, and only some of it she just doesn't know. But from the detective's perspective, Zeon attacked not only because the Federation stationed themselves here, but that they have a target of military interest being developed here. If they hadn't come, there might not have been 818 casualties last night, which I can't really see any flaw in that thinking. As I said before, Side 6's best defense so far has been its neutrality. Chris's line of, if we didn't fight, more people would have been killed, is really just self-justification outside of the point the detective is making. On the outside, we know Misha was just a distraction, and the Zeon goal was to destroy the Gundam. If they hadn't put up a resistance, those casualties would have likely been reduced to just the base personnel. By the act of defending yourself, you got the people around you hurt or injured. Not people you were defending, but literal innocent bystanders. The people of Side 6 have nothing to do with the base, the Gundam, any of that shit. So all of that debris flying around all over the place, everything you lost, you put in an operation, you weren't defending people, you were defending your shit. And your shit got people killed. So Chris's justification falls on flat ears when you listen to the detective.
I agree. Chris is right once Zeon appears, because you don't know, it's a mobile suit running around, in your entire colony. You don't think about it, drive it away or something. But the detective's point is, none of that should have happened because you shouldn't have been there in the first place. That's the point that he's trying to make.
Well, no, I agree with you there, but I would also agree that she's not right. Once Zeon arrives, because of the thing you just said, you shouldn't have been there, so Zeon being there shouldn't have happened. Zeon wouldn't have been there if you weren't there. Zeon followed you because of the shipment.
Yeah.
Assumedly.
So to my next...
Assumedly, because you might remember previous note points, why did they attack in the first place?
Yeah.
Bernie should never have been there because Bernie shows up before they have the shipment stuff.
As expected, now the war has come to people he knows, Al is horrified by it. Briefly, but he clearly is horrified when they pull the body out of the rubble, drop some whack Donalds, whatever it is that he was carrying it,
God, it's weird. It seems like it's a Christmas store, but it's not. It's a fast food restaurant. But they got toys in the window and everything. It's like,
well, like McDonald's selling little toys and stuff like that in Christmas. So
yeah, but they don't fill their windows up with all the cheap plastic shit that they have in there.
Yeah,
I know I have a future note about it. I just can't remember where it is, and it's probably mixed in with another note about something else. Because I laughed a little bit because he doesn't really. He is horrified, but that switch turns real quick. I know I just have a note about how Al would have been the greatest of Zeon soldiers had he been recruited earlier in the war. Alright, it is interesting that Charlie isn't just an embedded Zeon asset on the colony, but is actually a native that believed in the Zeon cause enough to have become an asset.
Oh, Charlie. talking about Chris. I was like, no, Chris also is from the colony.
Technically, she's moving back here, so technically she's also from here.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the Zeon thing. No, because Charlie says, I've lived here all of my life, implying that that's why he's not leaving. He'd rather die in his home than somewhere else. But the idea that means that he's always, or that he wasn't always Zeon. At some point, he was like, I like those guys. And then after Operation British was like, yeah, I'm still on the Nord.
Yeah. My next note then. No, Bernie, the police won't believe the boy who already used them to get to you, and in their eyes, he already cried wolf. Like, it basically tells the kid, oh, don't go there because they're going to execute you. It's like, but we later see that he goes to the cops, and the cops are like, you already tricked us once. We're not going to believe you.
I mean, that's bullshit reason for the cops not investigating. But, I mean, at the worst case, keep the kid in the police station, investigate, and if it turns out he's crying wolf, I don't know, lock him up for a night, something. You can punish him later for crying wolf like you didn't the first time. But also, you know, Bernie being young adult, I would say, has to acknowledge that this fucking kid has never accepted reality once. So, actually, my next note is the one I think I was referring to before. Before finding out about the nuke, Al has some really fucked up justification going on in his head for why Bernie shouldn't leave. Pressing on about how they can still do this and making the deaths of everyone from their last failure count. You know, after getting shook by watching them pull a dead child out from a collapsed building. If all of this...
It wasn't a dead child, it was...
No, it was a dead child. They literally say, it's a dead child, out loud, verbally. Yeah, that's why I was like, when I saw it, I had to go back to my board real quick. Ooh, are any of the kids we know blonde? Because it was a blonde child. I think that's what shook him most, is it could have been a kid from his class. If all of this had happened earlier in the war, Al would have been one of the best soldiers Zeon ever had. Kid's a real go-getter, regardless of the PTSD he's got. Like I said, he denies reality all the goddamn time. Nothing he's seen, none of the dead people, the dead child, any of it, has really stopped him from, God, gotta accomplish the mission. The mission I wasn't even assigned. I'm a fucking kid.
Bernie is trying to pull a Char with those glasses and the suit. That's a comment on when he's, going.
No. I thought it too. Literally thought the scene in old OG Mobile Suit Gundam when they're giving, Girin's giving the speech and he's at the bar and what is he? He said something about Garmin because he's a pretentious kid. I can't remember what he says when he's in the bar before the Caecilian agent shows up and talks to him. And it's literally the same look because, not for nothing, Bernie is at a bar. Granted, it seems like a 1960s, like, where you would get a root beer float and apparently whiskey at the same time.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's what the woman's wearing, whatever, I don't know the place is called where you get a root float. But no, I'm saying she's dressed up like one of those people that would be selling you like a root beer float.
Yeah.
It just happens he's also floating whiskey in a soda.
I guess I can sell you both if you think about it. I mean, you have families come up to the bar. Like, hey, we not want a kid. Like, give the kid a double shot of whiskey. It's like, for the trip, kid, you're going to need it,
But no, I mean, I'm just saying, I understand. I had the same thought. I just didn't have anything written about it. Al talking to Chris about what she'd do if she had the same information Bernie had, specifically to give another view on what another character would do in the same position, totally only exists to make Bernie look bad. I mean, Chris goes on to say how her friends and family are here, and she'd fight to protect them. Well, Bernie's got like 2 people here at most. And most of all, Chris has the freaking Gundam. At best, Bernie's got a Zaku that's been shot down once and stripped of weapons.
Well, I don't think that actually, because he says other people have other ways of seeing it. In fact, she says the only reason I would do it is because I have family here. So being afraid is not it's a natural thing. She says,
I know it doesn't make Bernie look bad in the end, but in the process of Al going to her and asking only makes Bernie look bad. But that was my point, literally, that Bernie's got all of 2 people. One of them being Chris.
It is a nuanced way of...
is exactly the opposite of nuanced. Hey, let me ask the two different pilots that are going to fight one another by the end, because obviously that's what fucking's going to happen. What each of them were fighting for. It's literally tell, don't show. I'm just going to have the characters themselves tell me. Once we got Bernie saying, no, I'm a coward, I'm getting out of here, you should get out of here too, then we're going to go talk to Chris, and Chris is just going to literally tell me, oh no, I'm going to stay and fight, because I got things to fight for.
Well, to my next note then. And this again in the airport or spaceport. I would avoid Ukraine, sign on the wall at 1546. If you're a Sion soldier, I heard the Fedis are swarming all over the place. Yes, I know that it refers to another colony, but I found it funny that one of the colonies called Ukraine. Yeah, another Banshee, where, Operation, damn it, name of the place. There's that.
You remember before, it's ironic. Remember before when I said,
Ukraine, yeah.
You should, okay, never mind. I was going to say something about when you had looked up the name of a battle before on the wiki, and I said, don't do that because you're going to be reminded of the name of the place, and then you're going to know a battle's going to happen there eventually before it ever does because you knew the name of the battle.
Yeah.
And where are we now?
Operation Battle of Odessa / Operation Odessa. That's what I was talking about. Which it happens to be in Ukraine. That's the whole point of the joke. You didn't get it.
Well, your note was at the bar. Funny enough, my next note's at the bar too. So, crazy thing. The phone call Bernie overhears that inspires him to go back instead of running away. In the English dub, the woman has an extra line she says in the middle of all of Bernie's flashbacks that the subtitles don't give her. So apparently she doesn't say it. That changes the entire context of the scene, I feel like. She says, I'm so stupid, I'll never be able to make this call. Implying that she floated over to the phones and had a pretend conversation, saying the things that she wanted to tell someone before she left, but it's actually just her talking to the dial tone all this time. Whereas in the subtitle, where that line isn't said, she's actually pouring her heart out.
To her ex-fiancé who dumped her
for another
to
woman.
Be someone be their fiancé.
Yeah, you said you wanted to get married. I want all this stuff. I don't want to go to Francesca. But my point is that they added a line at the very end. I'm so stupid. I'll never be able to make this call, implying she's not actually talking to him. She's talking to herself. And it's like, that changes the entire context of everything. I don't know. There's some like itching thought in the back of my head that, what if she's a Xeon operative and she's trying to motivate Bernie to get into the fight to defeat the Gundam? Like,
that seems like a stretch.
It seems like a stretch, but has Kaisulia never done anything like that before?
Okay, it's a stretch at first. She recognized she had her back turned to him when he started talking.
Wait. Let me just interrupt this thought process before you get there. Who gave him the idea to go to the spaceport and get out of here?
That was
starts with a C.
The spy.
Charlie,
the spy,
a Xeon agent. So who knew that he'd be going to the spaceport, but an operative of the intelligence network?
Yeah, okay, but the setup is.
I'm just indicating that you're saying it's a stretch, and I'm saying it's not that much of a stretch. This is spy novel shit. I told him to go to the spaceport, have our operative ready, have a cute looking girl, the kind of girl that looks like the kind of girl that Bernie would be interested in, put out a sob story about wanting to stay. It's like, she does look suspiciously like Chris, doesn't she? And Bernie's been like hanging around this Chris character.
But Chris was the one who told him, not Chris, the other guy.
The other guy.
It's just that Chris. Okay, Chris isn't.
I legit don't know where you're trying to go here. You're just all over the place right now.
The spy guy told him,
Charlie.
Get out of here. Charlie told him, get out of here. In fact, he even told.
What was he gonna do? Float through space? There's only one way out of here: the spaceport.
Yeah. So get out of the spaceport. Get out of the city. Everybody's gonna die. Here's a passport, right? And then have that so it's a setup so that he stays. He could have
Oh,
just
what?
made. Hey,
Sorry,
stay
did you
already.
expect Charlie to honeypot him, or the girl that looks like the girl that
Why
he's interested
even
in?
bother honeypotting him?
To get him to do his job. You think they're all on a suicide mission? Why not fucking have him suicide himself? See if that works.
He could have made. He could have not mentioned the nuke at all. It's like, no, yeah, you have to go and do the thing. That's just sending orders, whatever. He could have fit him in his story.
Remember previously
no.
in my notes, I indicated that we thought Kycelia was good at this. Maybe she really is good at this.
It just seems too convoluted.
It doesn't actually seem that convoluted. It's all of 3 steps.
Also, when he arrives, she has her back turned to him.
Yeah, waiting for him to show up. Maybe looking towards the spaceport to see if he's getting on a ship. She's, in fact, looking at the ship. That's where the window is looking at. Look,
it's
I'm not this long. Here's
the
thing, Les. This isn't my main point. I said this was an inkling thought in the back of my head. My main point is, again, that they added this line in the English dub where it didn't exist in the sub, and it's like, why would they fucking do that? Because, again, it changes the entire scene. That he is motivated by this woman pouring her heart out over regret and people that she cared about and all this other shit. It's like, that was good. That was extremely good as a motivating factor for us to get into Bernie's head and understand why he would change his mind. So why would you add in the English dub, oh, I'm so stupid, I'll never be able to make this call? That takes away from anything. It doesn't add to anything. Why would you do that? As I said in the back of my head, why would they fucking do that? Well, maybe she's an agent.
Not every redhead has to be an agent.
I was when I was 10.
Mm-hmm. And Al's friends are still playing at war.
No, they're not.
When it's like, oh,
they're collecting.
No, they're like, oh, look.
They're not playing. When they were on the street, dressed up in military garb, holding fake guns, asking him to go to the park to play war, that was playing war. These are like people that go to Gettysburg in Pennsylvania to try and find, spent shells. This isn't playing war. This is, I don't know, collecting souvenirs. These are the kids that wanted rank insignias from Federation soldiers. They're just collecting more shit.
It's part of playing at war. Like, look, we have all this cool, neat stuff.
Being an archaeologist isn't pretending you're running around with dinosaurs. Collecting old shells from spent ammunition is not playing war.
From the point of view of kids, yeah. I mean, they're not collectors. They're not professionals.
They are collecting. They're like, look at the cool shit that we got. And he's like, yeah, look at this giant, I guess it's a shotgun shell for a mobile suit. Like he pulls out of his thing.
The mobile suit had a shotgun, remember?
That's what I'm saying. I'm guessing that's what it was.
Yeah.
You're acting incredulous as though I said something wrong. It's like literally the fact that I stated was true. But yeah, no, again, they're just collecting.
Actually, it looks small compared to what the shotgun and the size of the shotgun, if you think about it.
Well,
and he is, all his bag.
To be fair, Lessons, he is an incredibly big kid.
Damn.
But no, I'd say the collecting of materials is not the same thing as playing war. Like, they're not playing war when they're in class showing his the big old fold-out sheet that he got from the dollar store of Federation insignias. He wasn't playing at war when he was showing that shit off.
Anyway,
I mean, it might be pedantic just to jump on you for what you're saying, but I think when we're saying they're playing at war, and we have a previous example of them like all dressed up to go fight in the park, that was literally playing at war.
My ultimate point is that they're still, even with the school destroyed, they're still in that mentality. Oh, look, this whole military stuff is cool. And even you see Al going like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool.
Because he was legit like that yesterday.
Yeah.
Not for nothing.
But now he's
Alice Cooper has a whole song about this. School's out for the summer. You seem to be confused there for a second. Well, this is my last note. And of course, the end of the episode is such a crazy, upbeat, happy note, where Bernie decides to fight to try and save the colony and the kid he's grown close to, by killing that kid's old friend and his own love interest, of course, without knowing it. I think it does lean into what I was saying before, though. Chris has been made the friendly, positive, unwitting bad guy. Not because she's done anything...
Bernie.
What?
You think Bernie or Chris?
Chris. Chris has been made the friendly, positive, unwitting bad guy. Well, I was about to explain it. That's why you tried to correct me for saying the wrong name. Not because she's done anything bad, but what she represents. The Federation forced itself on the colony and put a giant target on its back that Zeon couldn't ignore. Instead of seeing that for what it is and arguing that they shouldn't be here, she argues that they have to fight or more people will die, helping to create the situation that we are in. You can be the bad guy without intending to be the bad guy, and that's what I'm saying Chris is. She is
it's a tragedy.
She's an arm of the Federation that should not be here, but instead of acknowledging that they shouldn't be here, argues that they need to fight to stay.
Well then, and this is just a note about, again, the commander forehead. Asking someone named Killing if they're serious about, killing is a bit redundant. Like, that's a conversation you're having with the ship captains. Like, oh, do you want to go? Well, I'm the commander. By the way, my name is Killing. Like, okay.
Well, his name is Von Helsing.
Yeah.
Ridiculous accent they gave him in the English dub. Just stereotypical German. Like, more German than any German we've ever heard in any show before. But to be fair, I guess for a little bit of money, you can change your name to whatever you want.
And my last note. The best thing to do would be to team up with the Gundam to stop the nuking of the colony. But this is not that type of show, I guess.
I mean, that would also be incredibly difficult to accomplish in one episode.
Yeah.
We have to get over the fact that you are Zeon, that you've been part of the operation that killed a bunch of people that I'm possibly close to. Like, she talked to all those people. They seem to be kind of insulting to her, but I don't think they're so insulting that she wishes they're dead. You're also responsible, technically, for some of the deaths around here. Like, I would say, like, in the realm of 50% responsible. Takes two to tango, that sort of thing. There's a lot to get over to just be accept, yeah, you're the only way that we're going to stop this nuke. And not for also the fact that it could be a Zeon trick. Like, the only end to that conversation is having Al bring it up, like the introduction, because I don't think Bernie can just go in there, hey, I'm a Zeon agent, and I'm put the gun down, please.
I have info. Yeah, I have an important information for you and the colony government. You gotta put up all your defenses, and I'll help you defend the colony.
Well, I mean, it goes to the same level of what happens there. Gets arrested, whatnot, or would the better option be for him to go to the police and tell the police everything, and then it would be a slowdown. And I think if you remember what I said last episode, my ploy would be to detonate the Zaku's nuclear reactor to create a massive hole in the colony to force an evacuation, because a forced evacuation would be faster than anything I think you could possibly say. But you argued against that as a ploy because you had your own thing. I can't remember what it was, but my point was at the time. I think your idea was to do something when the nuke got here, and my plan was we have time. Let's try to evacuate. And my thing was, if my plan fails, we only just failed to evacuate some people. If your plan fails, everyone dies.
I think the problem is where they're going to evacuate to. Do they have the evacuation ability to evacuate the entire colony in time? And I
saving some people is still better than saving no people. And where will they evacuate to? One of the other Banchai. I mean, look how fast Side 7 got evacuated.
Yeah, but we don't know how much resources. How long had been creating this solar system, solar cannon thing, Giran had been working on, right? It might have been, we saw what the Federation did with that solar panel array. We're gonna do the same, or we're already working on that.
So I was like, why the fuck are you talking about the solar array? I guess you're conflating the Banshee that Giran had evacuated to make the solar array with Side 7, which is what I had just mentioned. I said, look how fast Side 7 got evacuated. I said, look how fast Side 7 got evacuated. And you said, well, the solar array. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about the solar array for? I thought you were going to bring up the fact that Side 7 wasn't fully populated or even finished.
That too. Yeah, that too is a point.
Yeah, I knew what the failing of mine was, but I mean, yours was probably a better point. I should have brought up that colony, but that was also, they brought their military in to... I mean, we know Side 6 has a pretty vamped up military police.
We don't know how many. They're not very efficient, though. They look like second-rate pilots, in their GM, so... See what happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, that was my last note. Will the colony survive the war in the pocket?
All right, well, I guess let's go ahead and hop on in, see what we get.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, time to hear what I think is probably one of the worst opening songs in the Universal Century.
I don't know. I mean, I don't hate it.
It's not a bad song.
Yeah.
I just don't think it matches what we're up to. You know, the same argument people had back when Enterprise came out, and it was like, been a long road. Doesn't feel like a good Star Trek theme. It might be thematic to the show, and ultimately what Star Trek is about. But, you know, it's not what we've been doing this whole time. Well, in that way, I don't think You're So Sweet is a great Gundam opening song. Specifically not for the Universal Century.
Yeah, but I think that we talked about this. They're contracting this sort of... I mean, even the original 79 song, We Fly, it was like, we're going to defeat we're going to pump yourself up for the fight. It was very upbeat, and 79 was pretty downer in most cases, so, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you can blame the original show for anything.
I think this is the time to create a contrast between what the expectations of living in space and peacetime with the horrors are about to happen, could happen.
Yeah, but again, unless they're pulling a whole shift here, due to the ending credits, I do not believe the kids are going to die, which means I guess implicitly I don't believe the nuke is going to hit. Unless, it's a fake out. Not saying they're not capable of fake out, I don't anticipate it happening. Have you read all the books on how to operate a zaku that I just gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just hug it and activate the nuke. Oh, wait, fuck. We're gonna nuke it so the place doesn't get nuked.
That's why this show is called War in the Pocket.
No, it's called War in the Pocket because in the halfway point of the show, it shows a rocket in his pocket. Why does this place fucking clean up its war salvage?
Yeah.
I guess, thank God they didn't... Okay, they did. It's like they have Misha's corpse. So they would be able to track his fake papers and everything. It's a little too late. I'll pretend to be a hurt kid again. It works every time. Fair enough. What, are you implying that you're Zeon?
な坊や、気持ちはわかるがな。悪いのはジオン軍なんだ。だからもう二度とこんなことしちゃダメだよ。
Why the fuck is everyone so forgiving to Al?
Because they're not complete jackasses. They don't know they're being played. You know, they're not
Does it
like
matter?
complete monsters.
Does it matter?
He's
I
a
don't think
little
it
kid.
matters. I don't think it matters. You still take him in.
For what? Well, I guess breaking
Destruction
the
of property?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying, like, throw him away. You know? I'm just saying, like, bring him in, scare him a little. Like, fuck you written on the wall there.
Yeah. It just says fuck. I didn't know what else it was.
It was a why. I think we can figure it out.
Yeah.
飛び道具がないとガンダムに近づく前にやられちまう。盗めない？そいつは難しいな。何かいい手がありゃな。あれだ。いい考えが浮かんだの。
Yeah, we'll ask Santa for one.
すごいのかな。聞かせて。こいつだ。
Lucky Star Production.
Army saves something. Place called Private Fiesta Dennis Corporation.
By the way, this is a sign we've seen in the background before.
Yes, sucks to be Dennis, I guess. If that's undead.
Oh, now you care about killing people.
Fireworks again. Oh.
Some sort of balloon decoy. Shut the fuck up. I've never seen that before. This would be the first time.
No, we saw it in G-Quirk, so.
No, doesn't count. It doesn't count because your argument in G-Quarks, we haven't saw him before. This would be the first time.
Oh, okay.
Didn't we do this last episode?
Yeah. I guess that's a war song. It's a song.
Okay, Taken. A lot of action shots for nothing. Hate to live on the border.
I mean, the thing
of
is,
that.
we know that it doesn't matter. Only no matter what, right? Whether the Gundam is destroyed or not.
I mean, we assume that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty obvious that Killing's not going to go back on firing the nuke because, oh, well, you destroyed the Gundam. I'm just going to go turn myself in now.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have eyes on any of this.
Yeah. Smart enough to pick up. I mean, the Federation was smart enough to pick up the trucks, but not the police to police their own territory and make sure that.
Well,
that
remember,
these weapons
they're
cannot be
getting a
used
bunch
by
of this
anyone.
stuff from the fallen GMs, so they're not even picking up their own wreckage.
Getting. Yeah.
You'd think scavengers would have been there already.
And we know those exist in the Gundam universe.
Well, I mean, just think about the fucking kids. Kids are like running around getting bullet shells. You don't think they want a piece of the Zaku? Or a GM? Val's auditioning for the role of Ash Ketchum. Bernie, I choose you.
Yeah.
Also, incredibly well hidden. Standing here.
Yeah.
Moving around on the hillside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that this colony is very much dead. Either way.
戦いの方は俺一人で十分だよ。明日のお前の任務はこれだ。この包みを届けてほしいんだ。
どこに届けるの？
Chris,
ディスクに
duh.
指示が入っている。作戦が失敗したら、俺が死んだら、そのディスクを見て俺の命令通りに行動しろ。
I mean, it's clearly gonna be
大
Chris.
事な仕事だ。
It's not, if not his, like, message to her, he's saying it's, like, intel and everything. She's the only officer they know both together.
明日の2時、ガンダムにつけて、このコロニーを守ってみせるさ。いいクリスマスをな、ある。
バニーもね。
おやすみ。
Rip-a-dozzle.
バニー死なないよね。
I mean, regardless of what's happening here, people on Solomon are having a bad day.
任せとけって。ほら。
おやすみバニー。
They got never known. No one ever looks out their windows to see the creeper staring at them.
Yeah.
お願いを叶えてください。もう二度といたずらしないと誓います。本当です。約束します。カエル殺して遊ぶのやめます。ヘビやトカゲを女の子の机に入れたりしません。だから
I mean, I've already described Al as a psychopath, so.
このコロニーをみんなの命をお救いください。
Unfortunately, Al, in God's plan, some people are only here to die.
Yeah. Will his last words as the fire spreads will be like, God is dead?
Kafka was right.
Yeah.
I became Superman while I was gone. Yes, it's
Well, it's
just
a
a
low
joke,
gravity
I know,
area.
with gravity.
Yeah.
We saw him floating in the last episode.
船のすぐ近くで戦闘が起きてね。
まあ、
ジオンの船が沈んでいくのが窓から見えた。こちらも危ないとこだったよ。連邦軍に降伏したジオン艦には核ミサイルを積んでいた者もいたらしい。
核兵器を積んで
So Killing's not having a good
連
time.
邦軍の調査ではリアの方に進路を取っていたらしいが、なんでまた中立のこのコロニーに。
Oh, this is even more tragic because they're gonna have a battle, and it's unnecessary because they intercepted the nuke. Jesus Christ!
I mean, assuming he only had the one. There's only one ship with a nuke on it that surrendered. It would have been more tragic if Al just got hit by a car.
Yeah.
接近中、あと3分で当基地に接触します。アレックスの残弾状況は右腕に500発だけ残っています。リア軍より連絡、支援行動を断るとのことです。マッケンジー中、出撃だ。
了解。
Like I said, the animation is pretty good. The level of detail.
来たな。どうした？追ってこないのか？よし、いい子だ。
両機とも斜面に向かっています。マッケンジー注意、引っ返せ。平地で戦う方が有利だ。
斜面は無人地帯です。
Also, are the foothills not flat ground? I thought this was perspective, and this is like the curve of the...
Yeah.
Well, that didn't pan out. Oh, put your head down, kid. I guess that was just red oil. The one falling off of the Gundam's arm.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I love a good falling over rocket pushback thing.
Yeah.
You hit a rock? No.
Well, Al is getting what he wanted, a fight between Zaku and a Gundam.
Ah. The readout on her left said attack program. So maybe it also has a learning computer.
Probably.
Except that she's not in the head, so this is deadlier to one of you than the other. Unless the explosion went through the cut in the cockpit.
Well, she won, I guess.
I mean, we're trying to figure out if she's still alive. Cockpit ain't opened up yet. No, never mind. I'll never eat hamburgers again.
And now she sees Chris.
Well, they already said her name out loud, too. You know, all it's going to take is one cop to say that, oh, this kid said everything that was going to happen, and they're going to put together why he was here. Which you convinced me not to do. That or that girl at the bar.
Yeah.
そのことで連邦軍の兵士やガンダムのパイロットを恨んだりしないでくれ。
In fact, you quite love the Federation pilot, I feel like.
自分がやるべきだと思ったことをやってるだけなんだ。無理かもしれないけど、他人を恨んだり、自分のことを責めたりしないでくれ。これは俺の最後の頼みだ。もし運よく生き延びて戦争が終わったらさ。
Oh, you never include this bit in the bit.
このコロニーに帰ってくるよ。会いに来る。
Yeah, no.
約束だ。
Don't make that kind of promise, kid.
じゃあな、ある。
I don't think you're gonna make it.
I mean, I'm surprised he got turned into a hamburger. I would assume he would have been mostly like evaporated by the heat of the blade.
Yeah, which is usually what happens. And then there was the explosion.
Sir, all we found was a pair of pants. You know, for the top up.
あるある。どうしたの？うなされてたわよ。
夢見てたんだ。
Let's see, the 80s shell shock.
何時なの今。
8時半
Oh, PTSD was a thing.
No, PTSD is a 2000s for the same thing. He gets renamed like every generation. Remember, Al, you pushed this. Bernie wanted to quit like 2 or 3 episodes. Al pushed him every episode. Dude, they just let you back in the house. You're trying to fuck this up.
Yeah. Oh, it's already January.
うん。ハンカチは持ったよ。
Oh, he kept the badge, I guess.
Well, no, he had that stitch into his hat since before the fight.
落ち着きが出てきたんじゃないか。
Yeah, he being quiet is not a good thing. Oh, the parents are moving out. Or she is, anyway. Oh, she's leaving. She's leaving.
行っちゃうの？
This is the ridiculousness that I brought up in 8th MS Team. 8th MS Team, perfectly operational, disbanded. Her, transferred, injured.
バーニーにも挨拶をしておきたかったんだけど、あるから伝えてくれる？私がよろしくって言ってたって。
Bernie's around us, everywhere. He heard you.
きっと残念があると思うな。
ある？
Does she know that Bernie was the pilot, and that's why?
I thought
Probably
that
not.
was what's going on in like episode 2 or 3, where he's like, don't trust anybody based on, and they just kept like staring back at each other. Will you stop eating for half a second?
どっか痛いの？先生呼んでくるから待ってて。
She's my favorite with kids.
戦争はまたすぐ始まるって。今度はさ、もっともっと派手で。
And that one's the asshole.
そうだよ。
Read a room, kid.
薬莢なんかじゃなく実弾も拾えるしさ。ひょっとすると軍隊のレーション食えるかもしんないぜ。
Well, he won't have to deal with them much longer. Remember, they're graduating. He's getting held back here. Add that to his list of shit to deal with.
Nice CGI shot. Yeah, this looks like early CGI.
No, I don't think it was. Looked more like hand animation, or drawing being moved across cells. Just without our normal amount of scratching on the cells to show us a thing is also being moved. See that a lot in Yamato. I told you the kids were going to survive. They were in color last time. That must be the hand. These are either just other battle locations, or that's the hand that got cut off. Because I don't think all of these shots line up.
No, these shots were in black and white originally. Now they're in color.
No, I said last episode they were in color.
Oh, okay.
Because they transitioned to color at the very end, I think, of last episode. Yeah, I mean, this was a good series. I would say it could have been half as long.
Probably. Again, it's the whole putting it around Al as a kid, and I know you don't like him, so you don't put up with that kind of shit from younger characters. But it's this time to showcase the tragedy of war, right? It's not teenagers, not adults who are also doing the fighting. It's this kid who has to go through this transition.
Since you threw that into the middle of your beginning of your statement, I have to be given a chance to respond. Which is to say, I think you'll find throughout every episode, I have broken down my estimation of Al as a character. Yeah. So it's not like I'm not paying attention to the fact he's just a kid. It's just the element that certain kids' actions have to be treated the same way as a young adult would be. If Al was to pick up a gun and shoot somebody, you would be like, it's the fucking kid. You'd be like, no, we need to lock him up for at least till we figure out what the fuck happened and try and understand if he even understands what he did. You know, do we treat him as a young adult or do we treat him as a kid? I hope she comes back. I hope she had nothing to do with anything, but I liked her as a character. Yeah. If we see any of the other kids come back in any of the other shows, I hope she comes back with something.
I doubt it. I think that's the whole thing about War in the Pocket is a self-contained story.
Well, I mean, I doubt it, because the next thing we're going to watch is Zeta, which comes out way before this, so wouldn't be any opportunity. And by comes out way before this, it comes out later. Well, Zeta comes out early 80s, 81, I want to say. This comes out late 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, 1989.
Well, I mean, Zeta happens after this, by 5 years. Yeah. So I think after this, after the 1 Year War is Stardust Memory, which is 83, and Zeta is 85, I want to say. Top of my head, I don't remember. I'm just saying.
We're not doing Stardust Memories before this, if it's 83?
Well, we're not even doing Stardust Memories next. We got other shit to do.
Yeah.
I mean, after this is Thunderbolt, but even before we even get to Stardust Memory, we got a couple episodes of Evolve, which take place at the end of the 1 Year War, and then between this and Stardust Memory. I'm just saying that I don't know when Stardust Memory came out, but obviously, maybe.
Yeah.
If it came out, I just don't see it having, that's not the character that you would throw in for that. That's the character you'd say, oh, Universal Century 100. And, we're bringing in characters from their past stuff. We're name-dropping them, but we never really got her name either. I mean, I'm going to add it to the board after the fact. My standing rule with the board stuff is, if you die, I'm adding your name. And if we finish the show, I'm adding your name.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to move on to the next thing and be like, oh, fuck, who was that character? And then have to do a bunch of research on shit that I've already forgotten. So, this is, the last chance.
I mean, it was solid. Animation was top notch throughout, especially in this last episode. I like that 80s style animation, sort of the sharpness of it when it's, really well done. I know Al was a little shit, but I still sympathize with him at the end, Forced to see the horrors of war up close, right?
I mean, there's the element,
would not have gone.
There's the element that he is a kid, right? Yeah. So the fact that he is really responsible for a lot of what happens. It's like you can't really blame him for that because the adult that he pushes into it, he's responsible for his own actions. But at the same point, he is partly responsible. I think that's the source of his, remorse here, is that I pushed Bernie into it, and Bernie the entire time is like, let's just go back. Let's go get a burger. Let's go get something to eat. Bernie is the one trying to get out of doing anything. And Al is like, no, let's keep doing. We can accomplish anything. Like you said, Al would be the greatest of Zeon soldiers had he been, born a couple of years ago. I mean, prior to this, or, the war had started earlier, and Zeon was more about recruiting kids.
Also, I found it very interesting, the twist. And now I think I know why I thought I saw this series. And in fact, I'm confusing it with Stardust Memory, which I won't say anything.
Great. I thought that I knew how this was going to end, and I played my hand the entire time like I thought I knew that this was going to end. But it turns out it's, in fact, not the next thing, but the next thing after the 1 Year War that I actually know. And then we're going to get to the end of that. Oh, I thought this was actually a different thing. But it turns out I actually know how Zeta ends.
No, I don't know anything
legitimately, what the thing you actually know is that you actually
Z.
know how Char's counterattack ends, and that's the thing you've been thinking about the whole time.
But the interesting
pause
thing
there
about
is because he actually does know how Char's counterattack ends. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Well, you've referenced Char's counterattack before, so we both know. Also, you tried to tell me the joke from it, so.
The issue here is the twist. Normally that twist like, oh no, the nuke got resolved by itself. In any other story, I go like, oh really? You amp me up for the fact that you're going to blow up this colony, and you didn't, right? But then it was never about that, really. It was about this tragedy of these people fighting each other when they didn't have to, because the war was about to end. And I think this is also meant for people like us who kind of know that no matter what happens in this colony, even if everybody dies, Zeon is still going to lose anyway. So it would have been just a horrific event that would just make things worse, but not help Zeon at all or stop the war from ending, right?
Well, I mean, it's my previous note about the closer we get to the end, it more leads to Zeon defeatism or extremism.
And I think the captain actually was like, oh yes, I'll follow your orders. Oops, I got captured. Oh, what a shame.
Well, no, remember that the dad says one of the ships got destroyed right out my window and the other one surrendered. Yeah. Conceivably, we don't know which of the ships the captain was on.
We saw that the ship the captain was on was the one with the nuke.
No, they said that they were loading the nuke. They didn't say which ship that they were loading it on.
Oh, they found it the nuke in the ships.
The conceit is that we thought, or at least actually there was 3 ships. Sorry, I now remembering episode 5. It was the red one and 2 Musai next to it. I don't think the red one was a Guazine. I think it was something else. I just don't remember what it was. And he only said one of the ships got destroyed. It could have been that the captain's ship got destroyed, and then the other 2 Musai surrendered without the leader, without the captain. Yeah. So, I mean, that seems like the most logical thing to me, but we'd have literally no information. Captain Dad said nothing.
So, yeah. Like I said, normally that would have been like, oh, yeah, you promised this big thing, and it was resolved off screen. But the fact that they use it that way makes it what happened to Bernie that more tragic, right? Like, you didn't have to fight. There was no reason for you to do this. Although he says in the confessions, like, yeah, I really want to fight the Gundam because I guess he wanted to prove himself finally, right? He never had any kills. The first time he goes in combat, he gets shot down. So it's like, I want to prove. Perhaps he want to, ultimately, it's also because he told Al so many lies about him being such a great pilot, right? That it's like, maybe I can become a great pilot and score at least one kill a Gundam, right? Turns out, no, he couldn't. He came close, though.
Oh, I mean, he did kill a Gundam.
Oh, yeah.
He killed the Gundam. He didn't kill the pilot, which, I mean, to be fair, he accomplished his mission. I mean, probably not to the extent that would have saved the colony had the nuke been actually en route.
So, yeah. Good show. Overall, good OVA. I liked it.
And I guess just as a reminder for everybody, we're doing the character rankings for this the show that we're watching next, which should be Thunderbolt, if I'm correct. And I think the previous one, Requiem, Requiem altogether. So I guess keep an eye out for that, but not directly after this one. We're doing all the shorter run shows together. Hopefully, Thunderbolt doesn't have like 30 main characters or something. Really throw it all off.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned Requiem kind of ends the same way, right? But in this case, it's the Gundam that gets destroyed. Like there's a tragedy.
You mean with the fight? Sorry, it ends with her in Africa saying, "I'm trying to get the Zeon who want revenge did not want revenge so much." Which is not what Al. That would be crazy if you switched the voice line. Like, pretend that Al had grown up and this is like a Christmas story where he's narrating from the future. This was the worst year of my life. And he's replaced his voice with what's her name from Requiem.
Yeah. But, I mean, what happened was that eventually she realizes who the pilot of the Gundam was and tries to say, "Oh, you're a kid. I want to save you." Talks him down and then gets killed anyway. Yeah,
except that's not even close to what happened here. And ultimately, there was never a thought in my mind that Al was going to make himself known. You know, the fight's too big. Also, it's surprising as hell.
But I'm not comparing the tragedy
that
of
he
Al.
even caught up to them at all. Because you imagine the movements of a Zaku are like one step of a Zaku is like 30 widths of Al's foot movements. So, also, at what point would either of them been looking down at the ground?
Or noticing that there was a kid yelling at them. Hey, stop!
If he had any chance at all, he would have had to, like, I don't know, gotten to one of the floats and been on top of it once it inflated, and then hope he didn't get sprayed to death by Chris. But it at least would have put him into the air. Again, though, assuming they're both looking for each other, so it's not like they're going to notice a kid. I guess maybe he had like a flare gun or something.
Maybe.
I mean, there's possible him and Bernie stole a lot of shit from all the other things. Seems to me like a flare gun might have been an easy thing to miss from people like taking all the weaponry.
Yeah, just safety equipment, I guess. So.
Yeah, so fire off a flare gun nearest to them. They look because I think it's something else coming to fire at them because it brings a heat signature to the thing, and that's Bernie, they both say in unison. So I'm writing a fan fiction right
now. You want to save Bernie. A fixed fake where Bernie lives.
I don't know, it's fine. Bernie already... I'm sorry, I said Bernie, I was thinking Al. Like, Al already lived.
Yeah. So yeah, this was Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War on the Pocket.
I think we all just say 00.
00, yeah.
Alright, well, I guess if that's everything, then once again, I've been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?